Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Beautiful souls. I hope you're having a beautiful morning wherever you are. I am coming off of an incredibly delicious, juicy cacao ceremony last night. Hi, Ashley. Thanks for the hearts. Yeah, it's amazing the feeling that comes the morning after a cacao ceremony. I mean, even the night of, for sure, we all leave feeling like we're in this peaceful bliss bubble as the horns honk outside. Hi. But what's so beautiful about coming together in ceremony, especially with sacred cacao, which is the delicious heart-opening medicine that I work with, it's like we create this field of energy together that is just so loving and so nurturing and nourishing and really honoring of ourselves. And coming together in a sacred way is just one example of ways that we can really honor ourselves and honor this life journey that we are all on together. Yeah, so today I really wanted to talk about self-honoring and you know, the term self-care is thrown around so much. And yes, you know, we need to care for ourselves. We need to give ourselves space and attention and time and rest and nurturing. But I really love this idea of honoring ourselves. So it's like not just like filling our cup with self-care when we're depleted, but really like honoring this incredibly challenging, rocky, but also amazing and incredible life journey that we get to be a part of together. Yeah. So coming together in ceremony is a beautiful way to honor ourselves. And we always, you know, there's always a component of the evening where we really just give gratitude to ourselves. You know, connect in with our hearts and just say, wow, like I made it. I made it to this moment. I made it through all of the things that I've been moving through. I made it through the challenges and the heartbreaks and the traumatic experiences. And while I may feel that I'm not exactly where I want to be, that I'm not that healed, whole version that I aspire to, I can really honor where I'm at, and I can honor that I've made it to this point. One of my mentors a few years ago asked this beautiful question, Anne-Marie, which was like, what if I could acknowledge myself for how far I've come instead of thinking about how far I have left to go? And I think now more than ever, with the amount of triggers that are coming up for all of us, with the amount of things that we're seeing in ourselves that we're like, oh, I don't like that. You know, seeing our patterns, seeing our ways of being that may have served us in the past but are no longer serving us. Oh yeah, thank you, Ashley. It is. It's a powerful question to sit with, you know, to breathe with. You can even journal with it. And for me, it's like taking that conscious moment to reflect on and allow myself to acknowledge and honor everything that I've moved through. It is such a powerful catalyst to move forward with such honoring and such reverence for myself and for this journey. And really, you know, there's so many things, there will always be things that we want to heal and change about ourselves and improve on and grow through and grow into. But what I've discovered is that when we do that from a place of like really honoring and acknowledging and celebrating the things that we have already moved through, it's such a potent place to be. And it really creates that momentum that propels us forward. I don't know if you've ever tried to change something about yourself, to change a habit, or to stop doing something in your life where you've been kind of like beating up on yourself about it and judging yourself and berating yourself and punishing yourself potentially. You know, I know food is a good example. You know, if people want to live a healthier lifestyle and that self-talk is just so punishing and defeating, oftentimes any change that is made is not lasting change because we're not doing it from a place of, wow, look at what I've been through already, and honoring ourselves, even if we're not the versions that we want to be. This journey of self-acceptance is not... Thank you, Monty. This journey of self-acceptance is not getting to the point where it's like, I never have to grow anymore. I'm done. I'm the perfect version of myself. You know, there are always going to be things that we want to expand upon and increase our capacity for. New talents, new gifts that will come online for us, new things to explore. But coming from that place of taking conscious time, creating conscious time and space in your life to honor yourself is one of the most powerful things you can do right now. Especially as these high frequency energies are coming onto the planet and we're being activated in so many ways. Those childhood wounds are coming up. Those patterns are like right in front of your face. The things that you could kind of duck away and hide from previously are becoming more and more obvious, and our felt sense of that, our sensitivity, our empathetic abilities are really increasing so that we can't ignore this stuff anymore. And so if you're moving through this self-discovery, awakening journey and you feel like it's just too much, it's just so overwhelming, you know, I have clients come to me that I'm holding space for, and what they're sharing is like, I have so much that I feel I need to change about myself. It's like everywhere I look is something that I want to shift, something that I'm not happy with. And that can be a really, really defeating place to be, and makes this process of self-honoring, of taking time and space for yourself, of treating yourself, of speaking kindly to yourself, reflecting on that question, what if I could acknowledge myself for how far I've come, instead of thinking about how far I have to go. Coming to ceremony, receiving healing sessions. You know, I've been receiving healing sessions quite a lot lately, and it's not even always necessarily to like clear something that I feel is stuck. It's like an honoring. Every type of holistic energy work is ceremonial, it's sacred. And so it's a beautiful way to honor yourself. I think a lot of times we use these healing modalities as a last resort, as a, oh my God, I feel so stuck, I feel so heavy, I can't take it, I need help, which is beautiful. They're here for that as well. But when we can honor ourselves, regardless of how we're feeling, when we are at rock bottom and when we're not, then building that practice is what will keep you going in the challenging moments and help you remember just how far you've come. Yeah, it's really hard right now, especially with so much coming up for all of us. It can really, really feel like God, like as we as we come into more awareness of the relationship dynamics that just don't sit quite right, that aren't feeling quite right, if we're like not feeling resonant with the work that we're doing, family stuff, money stuff, sexual healing stuff. We look at all of these areas of our lives, and usually there's something that we can pick up on that we want to change or we want to be different. And so it can be really defeating to feel so overwhelmed by all of that. So I always, when clients are coming to me and feeling that overwhelm and feeling that heaviness of, I need to change so much about myself or my life to feel happy, to feel like I'm in alignment. It's always coming back inward. How can I honor what I've moved through already? How can I honor myself even more? Because it's that little child inside of us that is so scared, or potentially that is so hard on ourselves, that really creates that sense of overwhelm, and like the walls are kind of caving in. And I get it. I've been in that point where I've looked at every area of my life, every category, and I'm like, none of this feels right. None of it. So I know that place. Hi. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. Family is important. Everything, all of the facets of our life is important, are important. So I encourage you to reflect on that question. What if I could acknowledge myself for how far I've come, instead of thinking about how far I have to go? It can be really helpful to I like to do like mind maps. So like in the middle, I'll write what I'm proud of or what I've moved through. Because a few years ago, I found it hard to be proud of myself. So things I've moved through. And then just start drawing lines out and be like, I've moved through this in the last year. I made it through a really unpredictable financial situation. I think that's the truth for a lot of us over the last couple of years. I've made it through having no idea what my life would look like in the next few months. We've all made it through that. Things that we've never had to think before of making it through, we've made it through. And so really taking that time to go back and be like, okay, wow, even if I can't feel that like deep pride in myself, that like gratitude for myself for moving through that, just acknowledging those pieces. Because it's really a practice. I remember the first couple of times I did that, and I was like writing different things that I had made it through, and different accomplishments, and I did the exercise, but I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel completion. I didn't feel fulfillment. Hi, Mona Lisa. But just the practice of becoming aware of everything you've moved through to be in this moment. Maybe it was something that happened yesterday, a challenging work situation, that you didn't lose your cool onto your boss, that you held it together, or on the other side of that you spoke up, that you spoke your needs, that you spoke your truth, if that is what's resonating for you. That's definitely been my journey. I've been a peacekeeper my entire life. And so for me, the growth, the things that I am grateful for myself for moving through, that I'm proud of, are when I do speak up, and when I do even express anger or discontent, or some of those feelings that for some people, that's not their area of growth. But for me, it is. So, where have you had a challenging conversation? Where have you noticed yourself people pleasing and taken a second, taken a breath and been like, okay, maybe that doesn't feel right. Maybe that's not right for me right now. Yeah, peacekeeper, that's resonating. The interesting thing about being a peacekeeper is that so many of us have been peacekeepers for the larger part of our lives to avoid conflict and to avoid challenging conversations and to avoid letting others down and losing that approval and potentially being rejected or abandoned. And so if you are someone that you know is here to help the world and to heal the world, you're a healer, you're a feeler, you're sensitive, you're an empath, you're a light worker, you're a starseed, whatever you want to call yourself. The peacekeeper in you that has been doing that your whole life is evolving, and it's shifting into a different type of peacekeeper. A peacekeeper where we're not keeping the peace to avoid other people's emotional reactions. We're keeping the peace by being loving, but also by being sovereign and speaking our truth, and by showing others that it's okay to do that. Open-hearted, compassionate, but strong and fierce, and honoring ourselves. Going back to the title of this video. When we're keeping the peace and we are betraying and abandoning ourselves, we're not honoring ourselves. And that can only last so long. And I know a lot of people who watch me and see the things that I share are people who have done that peacekeeping, people-pleasing, lack of boundary thing for so long, and are now getting to the point where it's like, no, how can I still remain loving to this world, but be sovereign? Yes, Mona Lisa, you are honoring yourself and being bold. Yep. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And the funny thing about honoring ourselves is that we have this idea that it's like selfish to put so much love and attention and care and self-celebration toward ourselves. But that's a falsehood. Because when we're honoring ourselves, we have infinite capacity to hold space for humanity and to be compassionate. A very simple example of that is when you're not honoring yourself in relationships and you begin to feel that resentment bubbling up. And then you do sneaky things like maybe avoid someone's call or be short with them or not truly honor that connection. Maybe you see it as a bother, as an annoyance, because you're not honoring yourself in that relationship. And then the cord between the two of you in that relationship gets damaged. Keep your vibe high, live in love, and speak your truth is my motto, Ashley says. Oh my God, I love it. Yeah, it kind of hits on everything. We can live in love and speak our truth. And for those of us who have been so scared to speak our truth for so long, or to acknowledge that we have needs or set boundaries, it's even more important right now. And by honoring ourselves, by taking time to do that, we can speak our truth with love. It doesn't have to. It might sometimes come out as like anger or kind of like a burst of energy coming out. But the more we honor ourselves, the more that our actions and our energy that comes out towards the world will be loving and will be compassionate. Which, with everything in the world going on right now, we definitely need more of. So I invite you to take the idea, the concept of self-care, and maybe reframe that into, like, am I honoring myself? For me, it just gives such a depth. It's like, self-care is great. It's like, I can miss it sometimes. Like, I could or I couldn't do it. It's fine. It's a nice thing that I do for myself. But are you honoring yourself? Are you honoring that you are a divine being in this human body that is here to experience all of this life and to also anchor in more beautiful energy and light to this planet? And we can only do that when we're honoring ourselves. We cannot be martyrs and create the impact that we want to create in the world. So your duty to humanity is to honor yourself. Give yourself space. Take time to reflect and acknowledge yourself and how far you've come. Celebrate yourself. I have a reminder in my Google Calendar every 2 weeks, I think it is. It's celebrate your radiant self. I'm like, oh yeah, that's nice. I'll do that. Whatever that looks like for you. It can be fun to have reminders in your phone or wherever, and you just see that and you just take a moment and you're like, oh yeah, wow, I have moved through a lot. And the energy is increasing so quickly that, I don't know about you, but for me, like a 2-week period, there's so much that happens. It's like so many little things have come up that I've either gained awareness of and witnessed in myself, which is an accomplishment in itself, or that I've consciously moved through, I've taken action on. So acknowledging and honoring even those awarenesses that come up, because it's not easy to see parts of ourselves that we would rather keep down there. Thank you. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to see when I see it pop up. I'm like, oh yeah, that's nice. So honor yourself. Give yourself sacred time, whether that's to do some breathing, to meditate, to have a little ceremony, a ritual. For me, I have a ceremony every single day with my cacao. I make cacao in the morning. And then, of course, I have my cacao ceremonies as well. And we really just all honor ourselves and honor each other. And it's oh, it amazes me, like, by the end of the ceremony, how everyone's like, I'm just in lightheartedness and I feel so peaceful, and it is beautiful, Mona Lisa. Yeah. And if that's not available in your area, you can create that for yourself. You can create it with a couple of friends. Just have a couple friends over and, whether it's coffee or tea, sit in a circle, sit on the floor, take a few breaths with it, say thank you, just take a moment and be like, wow, guys, we've moved. There's been a lot happening this last month. Let's just take a moment and, oh, Mona Lisa says, such a beautiful time with you last night. I'm so glad that you were here. And my heart just from these ceremonies. So beautiful beings, beautiful souls, honor yourselves. I am honoring you right now. keep listing the things that you've probably moved through in the last couple of years, and it's big. It's not a small thing. Holy wow cacao in Guatemala. It's delicious. Ooh, haven't even heard of that one. But I am open to trying all the cacaos. All of them, everywhere. Yeah, delicious. And so, I hope everyone has an amazing day, and that this may be a prompt into how can I honor myself today, or how can I honor myself more. Acknowledgement, self-celebration, rest, self-care, all goes under this umbrella of self-honoring. And remember that it's not selfish. It's your best route toward helping humanity. Thank you, Ashley and Mona Lisa and everyone else who was here. I'm sending you all so much love. And such honoring. Have an amazing day. And I will be back next week, same time. Love doing this. Mwah. Bye.